Some legacies are built over time. For PV Quarter Horses, that legacy began decades ago when a deep love for racing turned into a world-class breeding program. With the acquisition of a couple of legendary mares, the Pevehouse family set in motion a bloodline that would change the industry.
Well, I don't know how anybody else does things, but I know that Carl, like Cheryl said, he studied. He would sit in that chair and he'd get those Speed Horse and all the magazines, and he would read and study and think, and he might not tell me what he's thinking about, of course, but what the breeds were, but he had it all in his mind about what he wanted to do with what he had.
Anyway, Jessica Candy, he was special. He was just special.
Always has been special. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it, but at any rate, there's something about him.
Now, the day that Clint came to pick him up,
yes,
he was up on the hill, and he was the last to load.
Yes,
and Clint looked at us and said, "Oh, this is the one.
He's the one.
This is the one."
As soon as Clint saw him,
he said, "This is the one to go to the mountain." And so, as Clint was driving out of the drive, I yelled at him and said, "Do not cut those just sin candy babies." When Clint would put him in that gate, he would take a deep breath because he knew the job that he was fixing to do. And he is the only undefeated All-American Futurity winner.
He won
He's
every
8 for 8. And Clint said that he would get into the gate and they would get set, he'd take a deep breath, and that was it. He did not want to be outrun. There was a couple of times, he went out of the camera and we were thinking, where'd he
go?
And he loved an audience, I will tell you that. And I think to this day at the Lazy E, he loves an audience. He loves when they come and see him. But when he ran, he loved an audience because he would look at the audience when he ran. So I think that's kind of special.
Carl was a good friend. He was a good friend to me at Oklahoma Stud. He would boss me around, but he would call me Sis. I don't know if he couldn't remember my name or what, but I just loved being called Sis. And he would either call you Sis or Cowboy. And even when I left the farm and went to work for Speed Horse, Carl would stop by. He was on his way to the city for something, and he would stop in there and he would have lunch with me, and we would just sit and talk horses. And I just loved talking with Carl. Really miss Carl. Carl passed away in April of 2014. And the following summer, Jessica Candy lit up the racing world. We all enjoyed watching that horse win, and it was extra special when he won the All-American. I wasn't able to be there, but I watched it on my phone here, and as that horse crossed the finish line, tears just streamed down my face because I knew that PV was cheering that horse on from the best seat in the house. PV was watching that horse win from heaven, and that just meant everything to me.
For 48 years, PV Quarter Horses has remained dedicated to breeding top-tier competitors, always looking toward the next great champion. A true legacy of speed, strength, and success. EB Quarter Horses created a legacy to remember with their candy horses.